Hello everyone, hope you're doing well during quarantine and making some awesome music. This video may help you with that. It's the first one of the series about stereo wide, what it is, how to achieve it, and how to not screw it up. Today's episode is focused on mono-compatibility. I'm going to explain why mono-compatibility is important and show some examples. Also, if you wonder if any of these tips have actual use in reality, then just check my latest release. Links below. Two different styles, different labels, but they still use same techniques to achieve nice stereo image. This is because laws of physics are universal and work for every track just the same. First of all, let's clarify what is stereo wave. Well, in order to have a track that is stereo, we need to have a left channel and right channel that are different. I heard more than once that someone tried to take a track which is mono, duplicate it, find one channel left and one channel right, and then wonder why it's still mono. Well, it won't work that way, the tracks need to be different. And how different and what exactly is different, that is a very interesting question. The reality is, everyone wants to make their music sound awesome in stereo. So they take a sound and make it wide and wide and wider, and there must be some limits to that, don't you think? In fact, there are. What limits the achievable stereo wide in a practical situation is a mono-compatibility. And I will explain why it's so important. As a matter of fact, there are many situations when your tune will be played back in mono. In reality, the perfect studio conditions are pretty rare, and if you're not yet a superstar, the chances that someone will play your track on $1 million sound systems are very low. You must show your best on a crappy sound system people may have. So every smartphone is mono. And so are most of portable speakers and radios. Every time you take an earplug and show it to your friend gets only one channel, which additionally appears mono when it's not supposed to be. But even that's the case for many venues and clubs with less than perfect sound system. A partygoer may stand very close to one loudspeaker and not the other, and the sound coming from that speaker will appear much louder than any other source, so it will be effectively mono, and you need to deal with that. To prove my point, I will demonstrate this artificial example of extreme sound widening. Put on your headphones so you can hear exactly what I hear. So here is the mono bass line. So I took it and split it into left and right channel, then inverted the right channel. It's exactly the same, but now in opposite phase. And this suddenly makes the sound extremely wide. But that only works on headphones. If you try to listen that in an actual stereo system in live space, then you will hear it's a bit weird. It sounds larger than live for sure, but also if you move your head around, the sound changes. And that's quite surprising. Now imagine you try to play that stereo sound on a mono system. It's gone completely. It's just cancelled in phase to zero. So while this may work nicely in stereo headphones, it won't work at all in any sound system which is mono. And this is an issue we absolutely cannot allow in a real production. So we need to find a compromise. Alright, now let's try some real-life example. This is the kind of bass line I used in a number of my past productions. Let's hear it. It's dynamic, it's fat and sharp, and also wide, I like it. But let's try it now in mono. Well, the volume drops sharply and that's quite an unpleasant surprise. What if we just put the bass below 300 Hz in mono? It also became much quieter, the low-end practical disappeared. And that's the kind of issue we would like to avoid. So, we can either check the volume mono to make sure it won't drop surprisingly, or we can just put the bass in mono once and for all to assure that it will have the same volume, both in mono and stereo. This is something many producers actually do. But did anyone explain to you why that happens? The reason for that is at low frequencies the white stereo wave simply cannot exist in nature. Let me explain, it's just basic physics. The sound travels at 343 meters per second, so at 100 Hz the wavelength is 4 meters and 43 centimeters, and the half of such wave would be 1 meter and 71 centimeters. Now we can try to take a 100 Hz wave and play it in one hour air, then invert the phase and play it in the other air. But if we try to receive this kind of sound wave in open air, it's impossible. Simply because the maximum length between sound waves is much longer than the distance between our ears. We cannot hear this phenomenon, we cannot hear the full wave at 100 Hz, unless you're a hammer shark. But for all the human beings, it's impossible to transmit such waves, even if you try hard at stereo speakers. The sound waves will cancel each other out, this way or another, and we will perceive it as a phased out, reduced volume at low frequencies. Either way, it's impossible. And if it's impossible, don't try to do that in your productions. So, today I explained what are our goals to achieve the maximum stereo wave, what are our limitations, which is mono compatibility. And in the upcoming episodes, I'm going to show exactly how to do that. Stay tuned, hit like and subscribe for more.